I've just started the recording for this. I just happened to finish the movie, and I mean, it just struck me. I'm just still kind of reeling over it.
Yeah, I totally
Um,
get it.
okay, for the starters, I mean, in a lot of regions in Asia, the movie is still not available. So for our viewers who are there in the Gulf or even in India, it's not available right now on Amazon. So for them, just a brief view, you being in the movie, Master. So if you'd like to start with just a bit of brief about the movie, how would it be like?
Yeah, so basically, Master is a story of the perspective of three women of color on a predominantly white campus. It is the story of mental health. It is the story of racism. It is the story of inner demons. It's also a really twisted and interesting take on some of the experiences that Black and brown people can go through. I know I can only speak for America that a lot of the things that we see in Master are different microaggressions that I've experienced and that friends of mine have experienced. So it's shining a light on the sinister, history of America as we talk about, academia and different campuses in this country.
So my first question to you is like when the script was presented to you, did you like kind of relate with the script? I mean, like while you were like taking on the character, when the script was handed out to you for the first time, what was your first reaction was like? Because I mean, your character, like how it progresses throughout the movie, it has a lot of undertones in it, right? So when the script was granted to you, what was your first reaction like?
It was exactly that. I can find relation with a lot of the different scripts that I read, but I think this was the first time that I was like, whoa, I've been through that and nobody else wants to talk about it. So there's different, falling in love with someone or, experiencing these things that I relate to, which are fun and great and belong. But this script was different because I literally was like, oh my gosh, nobody's ever talked out loud about this really weird thing this person did. And it had something to do with my hair and it was weird and nobody wants to talk about those situations. And so when I read this script, I was like, this is the type of, art that I want to be making because it's the hard conversations to have.
I mean, I saw the movie and I think the first thing that it taught me as a viewer was that the real horror does not lie within the room. It's pretty much in the open. And that struck me, right? I mean, I'm from India, and in our country, racism comes in like it's quite battered upon. I mean, racism. We have the caste system basically. We don't really, in India we still have the caste system. It's quite prevalent. So I personally I relate to the movie, but I mean, signifying the light over American institution, right? I mean. Even the director was the debutante, Mariam. I was working with her.
Working with Mariama was amazing. It really was. This story draws so closely to her experience at Yale. And so we were able to really work every single day trying to make sure that everything that we were putting up and, going through was honest. And as two Black women, we were able to sit down and really speak honestly and candidly about the things that my character Jasmine goes through in the movie, but also the things that we have gone through ourselves. So Mariama was like, she was with me the entire time, just making sure that I was like there and experiencing the terror really that it is, because you can't necessarily see it all the time. And I think that's really one of the biggest themes in Master.
Talking about you, I mean, was acting really the first choice for you? I mean, you were a part of a music band as well, right? I did a bit of my research.
My dad is a musician, and so I grew up hearing him play and going all over the world to watch him play, and it was always really cool to me to see people enjoying his expression. And so I think for me, I wanted to figure out a way that I could do that wasn't singing, because first of all, I'm not very good, but that allowed me to express myself and give back to a crowd, and they give to me. And so acting was one of the things that I kind of stumbled upon, and I started taking classes, and I fell in love. So, yeah.
I mean, even the kind of roles you've been a part of, Nancy Drew, in the past, yeah. You also did a role in Quad, if I'm not wrong. Then there was Black Lightning, of course.
Yep.
And then there was Jin, which was kind of like an elated, character, a bit of a serious role. And then now we have Master. So this entire journey of yours, it's quite interesting upon how you go about choosing the roles. So I'd like to really hear from you how exactly you go about choosing the roles that you do.
At the very beginning, when I wanted to start performing in some type of way, I did know that I wanted to tell stories that people didn't tell a lot, maybe because they were scared or for whatever reason, but also stories that reminded me of the people that I grew up with, that shaped who I am now. So Jin, I grew up seeing and being around people that were so different from what I grew up in, but so beautiful to me and added so much to who I am now. And I wanted to dive into characters that painted the beautiful picture of what America really is to me, what it looks like. So from Nancy Drew to the Quad, I'm from Atlanta, so HBCU life for the Quad is everything to us, and I wanted to shine a light on that, and I just, that's what I hope to continue to do, as I continue to create.
So that entire transition of yours from music to acting, how did it really pan out for you?
Well, I really was just a small little instrument player. I dabbled here and there, and I love music so much. I grew up in a musician's household, so
music is something that you would say that you inherited from the family?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm not a musician. I wouldn't classify myself as one, but
are you just being humble, huh?
I do love it. I really do love it, and I think it gives so much to who Zoe is right now.
Getting back to Master, how was it working alongside someone like Regina Hall? I was just going through the reactions of the movie, and to a lot of viewers, her character really stood out. And every time I actually saw her walking into danger, I was like, no, Regina, just don't. So how was working alongside her?
It was amazing.
Her character is like wonderfully crafted and really well done upon.
Almost fell, I'm sorry. It was amazing. She's so funny. She's so great. She's such a professional. She's a joy to be around, which is just the truth. And when we were working a lot of night shoots. So we were shooting, in the darkest hours of the morning. And she always had just such great energy, always brought the laughs, but always was ready to work when the time was right. So it was amazing. It really was.
Talking about, so I was interviewing a few days back, I was interviewing Annie Chang for Peacemaker.
Nice.
So even during that interview, the question really, it came up that, do we still have racism in Hollywood? And you doing a movie like Master, where racism is so deeply enrooted, as a performer, as an actor, did you personally face any instances of racism while you were working in Hollywood?
I think there's an a looming dust of kind of what is and what was. You mentioned the caste system for us, skin color and who gets to play what and what America is comfortable with. That plays a really big role in what we see on American television and movies right now. So there's different privileges for 100% for sure. I think, right now, I think what my responsibility is making sure that stories are being told honestly and that there's space for every type of person, to be and to tell honest stories. And I think if you really care about the art, and if you are an artist or even just a movie lover, you would want to create spaces where every single person has a place and a space and can tell a story. Because we want honest stories, and that's just the truth. We know it's BS when it's not. And so I think my responsibility and responsibility of Hollywood right now is just to make sure that those spaces exist and that we lift up the spaces and the people that need to be in it.
I was watching, interestingly, I was just going through one of your interviews regarding Master recently, where you mentioned that you would like to work alongside Will Smith. But now, considering the entire controversy, it just struck me, and I thought I should really bring it up. Has that really changed, or?
No, it has not changed at all. I still want to be working with Will. You know, I am
inside your head. Zoe's like, I want to stay away from the controversy. Okay.
I'm not actually at all. I who's to say what should have happened and what shouldn't have? I won't speak on that. But Will is and will always be an artist that I'm so absolutely just like inspired by, and you know, I'm so excited to work alongside him. I really
Okay, we'll not really continue about the same thing. We'll like digress from the topic a bit. I mean, I was watching Master, and for me personally, there were a lot of heartbreaking scenes. One scene, as an actor who was there in the movie yourself, one scene that really stood out for you.
Oh gosh, one scene.
That's a tough one.
So, as we were doing our press run for Master, the scene that I said that stuck out the most was the party scene where Jasmine walks into this college party. The lights are red, and it goes from, "Ooh, I'm at my first college party. I'm having such an amazing time," to, "Wait a second. I think these people are, you know, kind of making a mockery of me. It feels weird. It doesn't feel like I'm dancing with people. It feels like they're like, I don't know. I'm like I'm a character or an animal in a zoo." It felt weird. So for the whole press run, that was the scene that really stuck out to me. I think now it's actually changed a bit. One of my favorite scenes, I'm not in it, but it's actually at the very end when Regina and the wonderful Amber Gray are, you know, kind of going back and forth, and it's a really pivotal moment. I'm not going to spoil it for people who haven't seen it, but
of course,
it's a really, really good moment, and I love watching them act together. And so that's.
I think for me, apart from your character and Regina's, one that stood out for me was Cressida, played by I think Ella Hunt. That also stood out for me, brilliantly portrayed on screen. And it's really great to see that people are noticing subliminal themes and they're portraying it in films now. But again, coming back to you and the kind of roles that you've done, and now you just did a movie about a psychological thriller, right? So as a performer, is there a particular genre that attracts you?
I feel so new to this whole world. I'm so excited to just kind of dip my toe in everything. I wanna do just a juicy romantic comedy, that's just so sweet and lovely, and then I want to go all the way to like horror. I want to really see what excites me and what is the most fun for me. I think that's what brings me a lot of joy, and what has been bringing me a lot of joy as I'm reading so many new scripts and different projects. I've been really getting excited about how different and how wide I could go, so I think next I really want to do an action movie. I want to do one so bad, and I'm just excited about that. Hopefully it's one with Will Smith, so we'll see.
Hopefully. So I mean, 2020, getting back to 2020, which was a tough year for all of us, I'd like to know, what did you do to cope with it, staying inside your home, and that feeling of nothingness that keeps creeping in, and as a performer, do you feel the need to be creative while the entire process is ongoing? I mean, I've come across a lot of actors and musicians who feel the need to be productive during those times. So how was that period for you?
Yeah, it was definitely a struggle at first. I was trying to figure out what to do with myself. I am a person who loves projects. I love either building something or having some type of craft, or right now I'm really big into gardening. So I like doing stuff with my hands, and I think that's really what brought me through the entire first half of the pandemic. I was skating a lot, I was gardening, I was just doing things that I don't know, kept me busy, but that was kind of the outlet for me.
So now with movies being released simultaneously on OTT platforms and theatrical releases, we had Dune, and even your movie had a OTT release recently. Do you think that people are like flocking from the theaters to the comfort of their homes, and OTT is the way forward, or do you actually feel that the audience will rush back to the theaters once things are really starting to open up again?
I think I think it's an interesting conversation. I think that people will go to the theaters for these releases that literally you cannot watch by yourself at home. Like, you have to be in the theater to feel the energy. I watched Spider-Man in the theater, and I don't know if it would have been the same had I watched it at my at home on my screen. So it's those reactions, that feeling of being surrounded by people. I hope that we're able to go back to the theater because it's such a different experience, and I hope people got to see Master on a big screen, because it is, again, just a totally different experience. And if you haven't, I hope that you can find a way. But yeah, I'm hoping that we go back to the theaters. I really am.
So as an actor, do you actually feel that how would you differentiate, like, a movie that's being done for an OTT platform or a movie that's slated for a theatrical release? As a performer, what excites you more? Is there a way that you differentiate your project?
Yeah. So, it might be a little bit contradictory, I guess, because I actually really love the, different streaming platforms and what they're creating. I think it's actually, a lot of the scripts that I've been reading, I've been super drawn to the different streaming platforms and working with them. I think, I am still dipping my toe in everything, but I've had a really good experiences working with streaming platforms, and just the ability to really sink our teeth into it, to go really slowly as far as creation goes, and that always feels really nice. But I have yet to do a big, box office release in the theater, so I don't know. I wonder how it would differ. But at this point, I'm loving what streaming platforms.
Like, for a point to be made, if I talk about India, right, and we have Bollywood, right? Before OTT platforms came into existence, so in Bollywood we have certain layers that there's a censor board which keeps an eye on the movies, about the kind of content that's being produced. So what OTT has done, particularly in India, it has given writers a bigger platform and more freedom to express themselves. Right. So like how we look at it is that way, and it's kind of like a revolution of sorts in cinema, as I would look at and see things getting explored in a certain way, which were not similarly being explored within the cinematic frame. So okay, totally. My next question is that one director that you'd love to work with now going forward.
Oh, actually,
you already know the actor, because of course Will Smith.
Yeah, yes. We already know the actor. Regina King is actually someone I would really, really love to work with. I've loved her work in front of the screen, and I'm just excited to be told what to do by her. Regina King definitely is someone that I just think is so brilliant, so amazing. But there really is so many. My list is getting longer and longer because now I'm watching so many more movies in different genres. Jordan Peele is obviously, someone definitely at the top. Wes Anderson is someone I would love to even just get close to. So yeah, my list is getting a little long these days.
And something for us, for fans and viewers, about your upcoming projects. Are you working on something right now?
Yeah, well, we have a release coming in August to Disney Plus. It's called Chang Can Dunk. And it's basically a really sweet story on the completely different spectrum from Master, but it's so sweet, and it's about a kid who's trying to prove his worth, and the way that he feels like he should do it is by dunking, and I play his love interest. So it's going to be a really sweet film on Disney Plus, and it's going to be fun and just a good, nice family film.
So all the best for that. And before we leave, because Animated Times is mostly about DC, Marvel, superheroes. So our question to you is, if you get to play one superhero on screen, what would that be?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Ooh.
It could be someone who has not been portrayed yet, or someone who has been, but you still want to do it your way.
What's so funny is that I've gotten on Twitter tweets about 2 specific girls that look like me a little bit when I have my afro. And I'm forgetting their name. I feel like one was named Noni, but I don't know. But anyways, there's 2 Marvel Comics girls that look a lot like me, and I would love to play either one of them. Marvel is definitely a dream. Marvel and DC is such a dream for me. I mean,
now that I look back, I think No Way Home was like kind of set the standards way too high, because after the pandemic struck us, I think No Way Home was the movie that a lot of us, like, we opened up and we went to the theater to watch it. And I still have those reactions, those fanatic reactions that you have in the theater. Those are still like really fresh in my memory. But Marvel is doing a fantastic job at pleasing the fandom, I would say. How they're going forward, and it's quite exciting to see how they will go forward now, because there are a lot of aspects which are yet to be touched upon, with the X-Men and the Fantastic Four just waiting at the door.
Let me ask you this. Is there someone, is there a Marvel or DC character that you think I should play? That's the real
interesting. I think you'd be a great fit for Stargirl in DC.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And also America Chavez. She's already being portrayed by, I think, one of the actors. I'm not remembering the name, but yet to make a debut in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which is like about to be released in May. So there's a character called America Chavez. I think that'll be a great fit for you. Okay. So yeah, these 2 characters.
There you go. That's perfect. That's good to know. I'll clock it.
But you still did not remember the name.
Yeah, I know. I really don't remember the name. It's so bad.
It's okay. So thank you so much, Zoe, for being with us. And I wish you all the best for your future projects. And I really want the viewers to go ahead and watch Master. It's streaming on Amazon Prime if it's there in your region. And thank you so much for being with us. And I hope you enjoyed the interview as much as I did. Thank you.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.